Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name's Steve Odell. I'm a member of the Union Management Safety Committee. Deb Galitzia is in the rear. Bernie Stopak, Rick Palmer are also members of the union side of the committee. Bill Johnson is here from the management side on our committee. I'm going to point out what's wrong with this picture. Remember, got a skid standing on end here. There's a fire extinguisher back here. You can tell because the column is painted red. That skid's blocking the fire extinguisher. Got a broom on the floor. We have an aerosol can sitting on the floor here. We have an extension cord. That's a no-no in the factory. This belongs in a flammable cabinet. We have 2 aerosol cans up here on top of this machine. And in between the aerosol cans on top of the light, there's a tape dispenser. And the machine is running, so it shouldn't be there. The guy on the truck is hanging outside the truck. He's talking on a cell phone in the work area. He has no safety glasses on. Don't know who this guy is. There's one thing that I haven't told you that's wrong with this picture. Try to find it real quick, because I'm going to give you a watch if you can tell me later. Later.
Does that mean they have to stay awake, Steve?
Yeah. Everything that you see and hear in today, we have a lot of good prizes at the end. We also have drawings for tickets. Tracy will explain more about that later, so you want to pay attention in here.
Does everybody pick up the handouts? You need this white brochure. This is a quick summary of all of our OSHA requirements here at the plant. You might want to keep this handy next week when OSHA comes through, because they're going to ask you questions from this little booklet here. You don't have to memorize the questions, but they expect you to be able to find the answer, and this is kind of an easy way to do it. Another way to find the answer would be to go to our website with the FIT terminals, click on EH&S, and then go to training or safety plan, safety policy, depending on what they're asking you. Then we handed out the crossword puzzle. Everybody have one of those? I would like you to do this on company time, because if you answer these correctly, that means that you looked in here because these are the answers, and that means you'll be more prepared when OSHA comes. And then you can also turn this in the box that's out in the cafeteria, and we're doing daily drawings for football tickets, hockey tickets, theater tickets, Avaya merchandise, all different kinds of things. We also handed this out. This is from the Safety and Health Council. Jim's Dodge Country has donated a new truck for them to give away. You need to fill out, if you are interested, the last portion of this. And there's a little box back there, or you could put it in the crossword puzzle box. You need to answer their questions. They have 3 questions there. Over the past 4 years, more than 30,000 Nebraskans have received a ticket for not wearing the safety seatbelt. The force created between 2 vehicles striking head-on at 20 miles per hour is equal to falling off a 4-story building. Wow. 4 times as many Nebraskans die each year in traffic crashes than from violent deaths. They're going to do the drawing the end of December. They've sent these out to manufacturing and businesses that belong to the Safety and Health Council, and we're one of their largest members, so I think we have a good chance of somebody here winning this truck, because we're going to take all these over to the Safety Council at the end of the week next week and deposit them in their drop box. So feel free to put as many as you want in of these. Basically, the reason why we gathered you all here today is to try to help you feel more comfortable when OSHA's in next week, give you some information about the types of questions they'll be asking you, how you might respond to those with the knowledge that we're going to give you today. We're going to tell you about our safety program and what we've done this year at the facility to make it safer, and try to have a little bit of fun learning some of the OSHA regulations. OSHA came in existence in 1974. Prior to that, it was pretty much up to the business to decide how safe they wanted to operate their workplace. My dad was in the service in the 50s, and he was actually stationed here at Offutt Air Force Base as a meteorologist. As a meteorologist, one of the job hazards was dealing with the weather. They didn't have satellites, they didn't have cell phones, they couldn't call very easily across the world to see what the weather was, but yet they had to forecast the weather for weeks on end. So they did that by getting in an airplane and flying around the world and looking for the storms. So they would fly right into the thunderstorms and take their measurements with wind speed, hail, rain accumulation, cloud density, and things like that. So that was a hazard of the job. Unfortunately, one of their flights, the cabin air pressure went down, and all of them in the flight had burst eardrums, so he can only hear out of one ear. But that was his first taste of on-the-job safety, and he's pretty much carried that philosophy throughout his business. When he got out of the service, he started his own business. He was a HVAC plumbing contractor, and he instilled that same safety in his company. If you work for me, I pay you, you do whatever I say, and don't mention the word safety. That's his philosophy, always has been. It's kind of ironic that I'm in safety. He hasn't killed anybody in his company yet, but he's come real close to it, come close to killing himself quite a few times. See, they were working in a meat processing facility where the trains come right up against the loading docks there, so the cattle can just walk right over. Hit with a train right on the side of his head. Didn't kill him. He brags about that to this day. Of course, there was no guarding. There is now, though. He's had explosions because of using improper mix of chemicals. He's cut himself with tin, putting up ductwork. I mean, I don't know how many times he's rolled his truck that never wears a seatbelt. So that's his philosophy. He's had cave-ins on his employees. No one's been killed, so he thinks it's fine. That's not how OSHA looks at it, and certainly not since 1974. So they have developed work hazards requirements for all of the industries, whether you're a plumber or a factory. They have them out there. The books are about this thick. There's 2 of them, and those are the regulations that we're implementing here at the plant. So how does this tie into VPP? Well, OSHA has a program that they recognize companies that go above and beyond their safety requirements. If you are exceeding the safety standards, they recognize you with a star status, and we have received that recognition. In order to get that recognition, we had to have a plan put together where management would work alongside with union and come up with additional safety standards for our facility, and that we work together, cooperating, trying to get safety hazards fixed as they come up. So the management has to agree to set aside the resources, the manpower for that. The employees need to agree to work safely, adhere to the regulations, and come to us and give us examples of unsafe work areas so we can correct those. So it's really a win-win situation for us. We want you to go home safe. We want you to retire with all your fingers and your limbs. We don't want you to have war stories like my dad. We want trust and cooperation between management and unions so they can resolve these safety issues. We don't want the fear of employees getting fired if they come to us with a safety issue. And there still are companies out there, in fact my brother works for one, where they don't turn in safety hazards because they know they'll be on the layoff list if they do. So we don't want to have any of that type of fear here. We want more of a team building atmosphere when it comes to safety. And these are the other companies. There's now over 800 companies that OSHA has recognized as being a star VPP status. And we have added our name to this list. We've got General Electric, Frito-Lay, U.S. Postal Service is even on there. So some of the bigger companies are on here. In order to qualify for this program, we had to have these 4 elements working together on a daily basis here at the plant. We had to have a hazard prevention and control. This is actually something physically that we did to our facility to make it safer. We added machine guards in certain areas. We've added ventilation in certain areas. In 30 building, we discovered a situation that could have been an explosive atmosphere with our aluminum dust. And we worked with the engineers to come up with a new design to help wet that dust down to prevent it from being explosive. So that's one of the things that we've done this year. We have training programs, formal ones like we have here. We have less formal ones which would be given by the level 3s for on-the-job safety training, how to operate equipment safety. We also have your safety meetings that your supervisor should be giving on a monthly basis. We have work site analysis. Anybody here know Jake Cartwright? I know you guys do over there. You do? He's never at his desk. I never know where he is, and that's what his job is. If I see him at his desk, I think, maybe he's not doing his job. His job is to walk the plant the entire 8 hours he's here and look for safety hazards. He writes them on a list, he gives them to the supervisors, and the supervisors have 10 days to correct those safety issues. So it's a constant job for us here to monitor all the safety of the facility. With the management and employee commitment, we have meetings once a month with the union, and the union also has safety teams in some of the work areas that go out and help Jake look for safety issues and bring them to the union safety management team so we can discuss and put resources to get those fixed. So those are just a few of the things that we do here at this facility. OSHA is coming into our facility to do their audit. They'll have 4 inspectors with them. They'll be here all week long, and they'll be going clear through all the facility. They want to see every room in the facility, and they're going to be looking for violations to their regulations. Now, normally, a violation to their regulation, for instance, I think Steve's picture had about 15 of them, they would range anywhere from $700 to $7,000 each item that they found. And that was just one work area that Steve took that picture of. So you can imagine how many they may be able to come up with in this entire facility. Now, since we're a VPP star site, they're not going to fine us if they find these safety items. They're going to ask us to correct them and give us a 90-day leeway to get those corrected before fining us. So we would like you to go back to your work area and look in the eyes of what's wrong with this picture and see if there are things that need to be corrected before OSHA gets here. They're going to do interviews with our employees. There's 2 types of interviews they're going to do. They're going to randomly walk the facility, tap somebody on the shoulder, and ask them a question. It might be a question like, can you show me the machine guard on this piece of equipment? Where are your MSDS sheets? What chemical is this called? Is it flammable? Where are your safety documents kept? Who's your safety manager? Questions like that they would expect you to have the answer. Some of the more common questions they're going to ask are in this book right here. They don't necessarily expect you to have them memorized, so you can use this book and flip through it and say, just a minute, I'll look it up. If you say, I don't know, that's not such a good answer. The other type of interview, they're going to be taking our list of employees and picking roughly 60 employees off that list at random and bringing them in one by one into a private room and asking you questions privately. Those questions will be a little more detailed, similar to what was the last safety training class you had. You could use this one as an example. They may ask you, what safety improvements have you seen in your work area? When was the last time you looked at your MSDS sheet? Questions like that. Now, your answers will be kept confidential as far as your name from the management team. OSHA will give us a list of the answers, but not the person's individual name with that. So we ask you just to answer the questions as honestly and directly as you can, and if you don't know, you don't know, but we hope to educate you prior to their coming. To have a VPP status, we have to have these elements in place when they get here. Cooperation and commitment from management, an injury rate below the industrial average, an effective safety program that they can actually see that is working, internal auditing and inspections similar to what Jake does and the safety teams do, employee participation in the safety meetings and the safety programs and games that we play, and a way for employees to anonymously report safety issues. And the safety hotline number is 3733. We first got our VPP status, which was a star status, that's the highest status of the 3 levels they have, in 1994. They came in and they recertified us in 1997, and then next week we hope to be recertified again. We can have employee involvement several ways. We've got people that are on the emergency response team. I don't know if we have any members in here today or not. We did earlier. There was a slide flashing up with the picture of the emergency response team members. You can do inspections of your own work area, and if you see things wrong, correct them if it's in your power. If not, contact your supervisor, safety hotline, John Hazuka, who's our safety engineer, or myself, Tracy Desek, the safety manager. You can volunteer to be on the emergency response team. We would train you in several different courses, and you'd respond to medical emergencies, fires, first aid, hazardous chemical cleanup, things like that. You can join the safety committee team. They're looking for volunteers in each of the areas that would like to meet on a monthly basis for the safety issues. So those are different ways that you could participate in our program. Omaha's VPP program has general safety rules. Once again, they're summarized in here, but the entire manual is probably this thick. It's in the SAQ, or is it SAQ? QAT areas. Supervisor's office, and they're found in the manufacturing 16,000 standard. For those of you that are familiar with the FIT terminals or have your own personal computers, you can go to our website. They're on the website also. Now, one thing OSHA might ask you is, where is the information that tells you how to operate this piece of equipment safely that you're working on? That would be in the factory layout. That's where they would discover that information. They may ask you for disciplinary actions. What would happen if one of the employees deliberately took a safeguard off of a machine and ran the machine and was hurt? What action might be taken? We do have a disciplinary policy, and it is also outlined in here. So those are some of the types of things that OSHA might be asking you. I'm going to show you a brief video that OSHA sent to us. It's not a real good quality, but it does overview what they expect from VPP.
Program.
Looks like it needs to rewind a little bit.
While we're waiting for that, I mentioned there was one item I didn't tell you about on the picture, and you said you knew what it was.
Well, there was, like she said, more like parking close to that machine.
No, that wasn't it. Something I didn't mention. Yes. Come on up, I'll give you a watch.
Why are seatbelts so important at our facility? Has anybody ever heard of a forklift or a Raymond lift tipping over? We certainly have, and in a lot of cases, the people are extremely injured or killed when that happens. And if you have your seatbelt on, the chances of getting injured are a lot less, a lot slimmer, because you stay in the truck itself instead of getting crushed by the truck. In fact, Steve was just involved in a situation similar to that. Is that when you were out on the golf course? He says, I was?
Threw me there for a minute. Last year I was playing golf down at Lake of the Ozarks. It was very early in the morning, very cold, and there was nobody in front of me and probably not very many people behind me. And as I teed off on a long hole, up near the green was a jacket laying there and a golf cart on the other side. And as I played my second shot and went up there, I found out there was somebody in that jacket laying there. It was one of 2 maintenance workers. They'd come down the hill. There were 2 maintenance workers coming down to work on the green, whatever. They came down the hill too fast, a little horseplay. They hadn't checked that vehicle in the morning. Only one brake on that vehicle worked. And when they went flying down the hill and hit the brake, it flipped it over. The guard come off of the top of the vehicle, hit this guy and broke his pelvis. The batteries come out of the vehicle, The other guy wasn't there when I got there, but there was some blood on the car path. He'd crawled up to the clubhouse. He didn't have a kneecap anymore. So had they checked that vehicle in the morning and found out if the brakes worked, probably wouldn't have happened. And a little horseplay. That's why we want the truckers out here. Not only is it required by OSHA, but we want you to fill out those check sheets every day. If there's something wrong with the truck, let's get it in and get it fixed.
Thanks, Steve.
You have a right for your work to be safe and healthful. It doesn't matter if it's a factory, an office, a construction site, a logging camp. It doesn't matter. Across the United States, a number of companies provide that safe and healthful workplace to the extent required by law. But they've also gone a step further. The way they treat safety and health goes well beyond government standards. These companies are recognized by OSHA through OSHA's Voluntary Protection Programs, VPP. Getting there, however, didn't happen without hard work or without questions.
As a union representative, I had serious reservations about the program. I thought it would be company-oriented, and so I decided to keep close tabs on it.
I was afraid once we got accepted into the VPP program that our people would slack off and the safety programs would suffer.
When we were first trying to get into STAR, a lot of people were asking questions like, what's the STAR program going to do for us? Is OSHA out now, or are they still going to be coming? And is it worthwhile, or is it just a bunch of baloney?
Having questions and concerns about a program like VPP is only natural. And just like those people had questions, perhaps you do too. Our job is to answer those questions to your satisfaction. Questions like, what is VPP? How can it help you? And if you like it, what do you have to do to become a part of it? 3 paths, all heading for the same destination. That's what VPP is. Why? Because it's employees, management, and OSHA all working towards the same goal, creating the safest and most healthful working conditions possible, and doing it cooperatively.
The VPP program is a cooperative effort between OSHA, management, and the union.
To summarize Mobil's involvement with VPP, there was open communications, which evolved a cooperative effort, which resulted in a trust between the 3 parties involved, management, employees, and the government. And as a result, we're a better company.
VPP is really a cooperative effort between OSHA, management, and employees.
The word cooperative is the key. VPP is a program that makes the workplace safer for employees through cooperation. All 3 parties must work together to make it happen.
Before STAR, on our accident investigation committee, you had no choice in belonging to it. It was mandatory by your management to participate in it. Since STAR's come in, things have changed a lot, and now we get trained even. We improved on our investigations, and we search for the root cause.
Every job has got its problems. We've got to make sure that we find the solutions.
People are more willing to participate.
Is there any way to take off some of the pressure to a technician?
What happened during this case was one individual came out to clean both lines.
In fact, the committees have actually increased in membership since then.
If there is a safety problem, the line goes down and stays down until the hazard is fixed. To me, that says a lot about how much say an employee has in the operation of the company.
When management lets us stop a production line because they consider safety more important than production, I really believe that says a lot for the company.
How's line 16 running, Mike?
16's running good, but we're having a problem on 14. We better shut her down and check it out.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Think about that. How many companies do you know of where employee safety is more important than production? Well, that's the way companies are that belong to VPP. But to become a part of the VPP programs, employees have to share some of the responsibility for safety at their company. They can't expect someone else to do it all for them.
I know that everybody personally went through a lot of difficult things just to keep their areas clean and up to par, and just think safety, safety, safety all the time. After a while, you keep practicing safety and it works. So you can't knock it, but it was a long, hard job.
It's very hard to get into the VPP program. It takes a lot of effort on everyone in the plant, and the management, hourly employees, and people at all levels to get into this program.
To get into the VPP program, everybody had to do their part. It was a lot of hard work, but I would strongly, strongly recommend trying to get into the VPP program. It's a very, very satisfying and rewarding experience.
This is a copy of the Federal Register. It tells you what VPP is and what it does. But this paper can't create good safety programs. Good safety is created by people. In fact, safety is best when people work together to make it happen.
Before STAR, all the safety programs on site were really run and operated by management. Management headed up all the teams. They picked the people to belong on it. The people really didn't feel like the programs belonged to them. Since STAR's come in, that philosophy changed a lot. Now the programs are volunteer, and they really feel that the programs belong to them now.
This production line was down, and a production line...
Becoming a part of VPP opens a door to an elite group. You are recognized as being one of the best. However, entry into VPP isn't quite as easy as opening a door. It takes hard work.
OSHA has very rigorous requirements. For example, site inspections are not only required, they must be done monthly by the participants in general industry and weekly in construction.
We'll have it checked.
Okay, I'll check with the manager.
The inspection results in written reports of findings and tracking of hazard correction to completion.
Look at
Did you see me?
Oh, hi, Brian. Have a seat.
Thank you.
When OSHA goes on site, we look at these reports to see if those inspections are finding more than simple housekeeping problems.
Next, how do you track them?
Well, first of all, when the inspection is complete...
Whether what we see at the site relates to what they find. We look for such problems as inadequate training in hazard recognition, repeated instances of the same type of hazards, or inability to achieve hazard correction.
Lockout clamp on it. There are two different types of lockout clamps. The one's the long red type. This type.
Companies that apply for VPP, for the most part, already have good safety and health programs.
Then you would install your lock to make sure that it is locked out. Any questions?
But, like many successful companies, they don't want to settle for just good. They want their protection to be the best.
We'll come back in 2 weeks.
Safety here at GE has always been important. Our programs are always good, but since STAR, they've even improved more.
It's pretty difficult to get into the program. We all worked hard at it. Now everybody is proud of the STAR flag, and we all work hard to keep it.
Now, he just mentioned STAR. STAR is the highest you can go in the programs. It's like making the Olympic team. You're one of the best, and your company gets to fly the red, white, and blue STAR flag.
Here at Allied, I believe our union's 100%.
Another question that OSHA is going to ask you is, what is your safety policy? That one kind of stumped me when I first got asked that, because I know we have safety plans and written programs and training, but the policy actually is a sheet of paper with a statement on it signed by Ray Swartz, and that's located in the entrances. I believe it's framed up there. I have one in my office, but they may ask you where that is, and that basically outlines the commitment that OSHA has, that the management here at Avaya is behind safety. Another thing that may ask you is, have you ever had an OSHA recordable? An OSHA recordable is an injury or an illness that you might have had that's related to work, which required you to have medical attention at the clinic. If we're above the average goal for our type of industry, which would be cabling, then we are not allowed to be in the VPP program. Our goal this year is 6.9 employee cases of accidents per 100 employees or less. So if we can stay below that goal, they'll allow us to stay in the program. Now, once we are in the program, OSHA will not do unannounced inspections at our facility and fine us on the spot. They will call us, they will say that we have a complaint with your company, we'd like you to fix it, we'd like to come out and look at it, and they'll give us a timeline to get that fixed in. So that's one of the benefits of VPP. That certainly doesn't mean that you can't call OSHA directly instead of going to our safety union with a safety complaint, because you could do that, or to call the hotline. They may ask you what our emergency number is. 3222. That connects you to security, and they'll ask you what the emergency is. If it's related to fire, medical, or chemical spill, then they'll connect you to our emergency response team and possibly call an ambulance or a fire truck for you. They may ask you the type of training that you've had done, and you can certainly use this class as an example. They may ask you more specifically training for your job, so it might be forklift training, hazard communication training, hearing protection training, respirator use training. So they're looking to see what kind of training you've had in your employment history here with the company. They may ask you what the company has done in your area to promote safety specifically in the last year. I mentioned some things earlier. Here's some additional things. We've got the fork truck rodeo that we did last year. Anybody drive in there? I know I did. You did? The safety committee had come to us with a request to have some strobe lights put on the fork trucks to make them more visible. That was done this year. Employees had brought to our attention that they were slipping on some of the entrances into the building. We had a company come in and actually etch the surface of the floors to put a non-skid surface on there to help from slipping. We put some guards up in the Reelex machine area. We put some steel on the turntables to make those huge reels that weigh up to 700 pounds easier to turn. Employees actually turn those by hand, and with the steel plates on the bottom, the actual wood and steel reels slide more easily on there. We've added lift tables and cranes to 50 building, conveyor belts, automatic insulating uptake. We've given some employees ergonomic chairs to make their work easier for their backs. We have special tools out there. I've seen for the first time some of those ergonomic scissors that we use. It took me a while to figure out how to use the things. They certainly don't look like the traditional scissors. We have special box cutters that we had gotten in to prevent slipping and cutting yourself. So those are some of the things that we have done here at Avaya. This is something that I'll have Steve talk about because this is an area he's very familiar with and a project he actually was involved in.
This is called a Zimmerman Hoist. The Zimmerman is a brand name. It's got 150-pound capacity. It's Exchange Max twisters. That's where these are used. There's 5 of them in there. In the past, this has been a back-breaking job. This is the job that's hurt everybody in the factory if they've ever gone to twist. They lift up to 75 pounds of those reels. Now with this Zimmerman lift, the lift is 2.5 pounds to 10-pound lift. So it should eliminate elbows, back, shoulder injuries. Hopefully it'll eliminate all of them.
You want to try to give away a few more prizes here, Steve, to see how much they remembered from that? What's wrong with this?
Somebody tell me one thing was wrong with that picture that I had up earlier. Yes, sir. Come on up here to the table and grab a gift off the table. Yes. Come on up. Come on up. All right. Come on up.
Finally got your gift.
Pardon me? Fire extinguisher was locked. Yes. Oh, yeah. Shame on me, huh? Come on up. Come on up. Any more? Come on. The broom. Come on up. Yes. I wouldn't do that. Come on up. These glasses are just like the ones that I'm wearing. They have a hole dead center in the right lens. They were worn by a twist operator 1.5 years ago. They are safety glasses. Side shield's missing off the right side. This twist operator was working on an end assignment in 50 building. And on that end assignment, there was a lot of fork truck traffic, or used to be. There's not so much with the lower production. But at this time, there was. We thought that somebody had thrown something and hit these glasses, but it's too much force. And there are some pieces missing, but that's over time. In my hand here, I have a bolt that doesn't match anything in that area. So we're thinking, through the investigation, that this bolt was laying somewhere on the floor. Fork truck drove through there, pinched the bolt with enough force to shoot it into the air and hit him. He was not hurt. Nothing in his eyes. Had he not been wearing these glasses, and only street glasses, he'd probably died. That's why we want you to wear safety glasses in all off-aisle areas.
Thanks, Steve. Those people that I gave flags to, can you just hold them up in the country, or up in the air to show the support of our country? Great, thanks. Got extra one. We're going to test a little bit of your knowledge here in the next few minutes. Go ahead and keep those flags up there. You've just been chosen to play VPP Jeopardy. Thanks for volunteering. What's your name, sir?
Eddie.
What department do you work in, Eddie?
F-26.
Okay, what do you do in that area?
GPC bill.
Ah, we got a GPC person here, Eddie, and he's volunteered to play. On this side, I think we got somebody from the office.
The GPC, 60 building.
What's your name?
Elaine.
Elaine from GPC is going to be playing against Eddie here. We have Karen. What department are you in, Karen?
Purchasing.
Purchasing, okay. We'll see what your knowledge is today. And over here, I think we have...
John May.
John May,
the
contractor.
Maintenance.
Okay, we have John May with the maintenance. So we're all going to be playing VPP Jeopardy just to see how much you know. The object of the game is to get as many points as you can. You can answer the questions, and you can use your whole row to help get that answer. So wake up the people next to you. Hopefully they'll look nice and sharp and know a lot. And you can be their spokesperson. You can use your Avaya handbooks to look up the answers. You can use your little VPP cards for the answers. And if you happen to win the most points, your entire row gets a gift. Steve's getting out the good stuff now. Okay, we'll start here in the back. Elaine, what category would you like?
Workplace hazards.
For how many points?
300.
Workplace hazards for 300. She's going to start in the middle of the row. Elaine, at what weight should you have a two-person lift over in 60 building? If an item weighs over this weight, we would like you to have someone help you lift that. Ask your row there. They look like a bunch of smart guys back there. How many pounds? Okay.
45 pounds.
That's right, Elaine. You get 300 points. Let's give Elaine a round of applause here. Good job. Okay, we're going to have the guy next to you keeping points. So when you get points, have him keep track of them. Elaine, pick another category.
Safety training 100.
Safety training 100. She's losing her confidence here. If you went to a class to learn about MSDS sheets and chemical information, what would be the name of that class? Use your row to help out here. What is the name of that class? We give it once a year. John's just egging to take those points away from me, Elaine.
Hazmat?
No, that's a good guess because that's a class we give to all the people over in 60 building, but that's not it. Okay, we're going to move up here to Karen. You get this for 200 points if you get it right. Double Jeopardy. What's the name of the class? I know the guy in the red knows it because he's in my department. What's the name of that class for 200 points? Do, 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 do. Guess? You want to guess?
The material safety data sheet class training.
Oh, that's really close, but I think John wants it for 200 points.
Material hazardous safety data class or something. No, hazardous materials safety data.
Oh, not quite. Does anybody know that answer? Up here. Oh, you can't play. You're in my department. Anybody else?
Hazard communication.
That's right. Go up and pick out a gift. Thank you very much. Okay, I think we're back here to Eddie. Pick a... Who's that? I went in a row. Oh. He says he didn't know. Okay, Eddie, pick a category.
Workplace hazard. 700.
Workplace hazards for 700. He knows the strategy. He wants to get the big points first. We require hearing protection in this plant. If the noise level is over how many decibels would we ask you to put the earplugs in? Keep in mind ZZ Top rock concerts run around 110 decibels. So hopefully you guys aren't that loud. Got some people down there trying to coach you. Do you know how many decibels?
90, 80.
80, 90, as she said. No, that's not quite right. That's real close, though. Okay, we're going to over here to Ellen.
95?
No, not 95. Karen wants it.
85.
Okay, 1,400 points, Karen. Good job. Keeping track of those points, right? Okay, Karen, next category. Next category.
Avaya employees for 700.
Okay, Avaya employees for 700. Karen, name 3 union safety committee members. 3.
By name?
By name.
Tracy?
Union.
No. Union. Oh, okay. Bernie Stopek. Steve Odell. Deb Galitzi.
Good job. Okay, 700 more points. Okay, we're going to move up here to John May. Category.
Safety policy, 700.
He wants to catch up here. Safety policies for 700. You know, if you miss this, they might get it for 1,400. Okay. Workplace injuries requiring medical attention is called what, according to OSHA regulations? That's right, OSHA reportable incidents. You must have read your book. 700 points. Out of here, you're out of here. Okay, John. Accident waiting to happen. Pick a category.
Safety training, 700.
Safety training for 700. You didn't get on that layoff list, huh, John? Okay. Safety training for 700. You have a communicable disease passed by body fluids, so I want you to take this training course. What's the name of the training course, John? Communicable diseases with body fluids. What's the name of that class? No, sex ed is not right. Pressure. No, that's close. Not body fluid safety handling cleanup. Okay, back here to Eddie, 1,400 points if you can give me the name of that class. Communicable disease training course for body fluids. You had your 2 chances and you had an accident, so just sit still. You poke yourself with that flag. What might the name of that class be? Sometimes medical gives it. Sometimes the fire brigade gives it. You got it.
That's it. Bloodborne disease.
That's right, bloodborne diseases. 1,400 points, Eddie. Good job. Wave that flag. Where's my safety glasses? Okay, Eddie, one more category.
Workplace hazards, 500.
Workplace hazards for 500. I think you're in the lead, Eddie. Chemicals with a flash point of 100 degrees Fahrenheit are called what? They're kept in special yellow cabinets. Chemicals with a flash point of 100 degrees or less are called what? That's right, flammables. Good job. 500 points. How many points do you guys have now? They have 2,000 points. Is that right? Your addition's a little different than mine, Eddie. Well, I know you got one for 1,400. And you got this one for 500. 1,900. Okay, Ellen. You want to beat that 1,900. Pick a category. Got one high, one left.
VPP facts for 700.
Okay, VPP facts for 700. One of our hardest questions. OSHA's coming up from Kansas City. They have a region number for that area. What number is that region? 1 through 10. Nebraska, Missouri, Kansas, and Iowa, all in this region number. Do you have a region number? And it's not in your book. Sorry.
Oh, 7.
7, she got it right. Good guess, Ellen. Is that your lucky number? Okay, 700 points. Ellen, pick another category, Ellen.
VPP facts for 500.
VPP, she's on a roll. What year did Omaha first get its VPP site?
1994.
That's right, 500 points. How many points do you guys have now? Do you need a calculator? 1,400? 1,500. Okay, 1,500, and you guys had 1,900. So you're in the lead. 21 up here. You look older than that, Karen. Okay, next category.
Avaya employees, 500.
Avaya employees for 500. Name 3 emergency response team members. Their pictures were flashing up there earlier. They've been on the monitors for about 2 months. Sometimes they have little red bags. 3 names. A lot of them are related to each other. What?
Ernie Bielek. Bob Bielek. Al Pickrell.
That's right. Good job, Karen. 500 points. Okay, do you get another chance? Did I give you 2? Yeah, I gave you 2 already. Did I give you? Okay, another category.
What do you guys want to do? Safety training for 500.
Safety training for 500. Quick, get out of here, Karen. What course was that? Quick, get out of here. What would be the name of that training course? We just had one.
Fire drill.
That's right, our fire drill evacuation training. Good job. 500 points. Okay, John, got to catch up here.
Safety policies for 500.
Safety policies for 500. Where can you find Avaya's safety manuals? Where would you find them?
Fit terminals.
Right, they can be on our website on the FIT terminals. Good job. Next category.
Safety training for 300.
Safety training for 300. You're keeping track of your points, right? Maybe we should have the competitors keep your points. Okay, safety training for 300. You just took a class on vehicle lift instruction. What was the name of that class?
Vehicle lift instruction.
Right. Vehicle lift instruction.
Fork truck training.
That's right, fork truck training. Good job. Okay, give yourself 300 points. Okay, back here to Eddie.
Workplace hazards, safety policy for 300.
Safety policies for 300. How do you call, or what's the phone number for the safety hotline where you would report an anonymous safety hazard? Anonymous safety hazard. What's the phone number? The anonymous safety hotline number. You call and leave a message. 300 points.
3733.
That's right, 3733. Good job. 300 points for Eddie. Okay, Elaine, catch-up time.
VI employees, 300.
I thought you got that other one. Okay. Okay. Sorry, Elaine.
Avaya employee, 300.
Avaya employees, 300. Eddie, I noticed an irritating odor coming from your work area. It seems like it's very unnatural smell. We need to get some air monitoring done. Who would I send out to do your air monitoring out of the safety department? What is their name? Anybody know his name down there? You can help him.
John Hazuka.
Right, John Hazuka. Good job. Okay, Elaine. 300 points, Eddie.
VPP fax for 300.
OSHA program designed for work sites with injury rates below their industrial standard. What is the name of this VPP program? OSHA sites with injury rates below the standards.
STAR.
That's right, STAR. 100 points, Elaine. Or 300, wow. Okay, next category.
Safety policies, 100.
Safety policies for 100. You need to go shopping, Elaine. I need you to buy some PPE. What store am I going to send you to? It's not Walmart. It's not Kmart. What store am I going to send you to buy PPE?
Personal protection equipment.
But what store? What's the name of the store? I need the name of the store. She's getting awful good hints back here.
44.
Yeah, store 44. I think we need to send these guys out on an errand. It's called Store 44. It's in the 44 building. Okay, good job. 100 points. Okay, up to Karen.
VIA employees for 100.
VIA employees for 100. Who is the current EH&S manager that's willing to go to jail for this company and read books?
Tracy.
That's right, me, Tracy Desek. Okay, next category.
Workplace hazards for.
Okay, workplace hazards, 100. We use this on equipment to protect an operator's body parts.
Guards.
That's right, machine guards, 100 points. Okay, over here to John, your last chance to shine, John.
VPP facts for 100, I think.
Okay. What does VPP stand for? What do those initials stand for? It was on our first slide, I think.
Voluntary Protection Program.
That's right, 100 points. Okay, we're going to add up these points. Eddie, you got your points?
2,500.
Hey, Eddie says 2,500 for his group. Elaine?
1,900.
Okay, Eddie's in the running. The first two teams with the most points get prizes. First two teams and the 4 flag holders.
3,300.
3,300? Wow. You guys must use a calculator. Okay, John, how many?
16, but we should get bonus points because we didn't pick up the pamphlets.
Oh, 16. No wonder you have safety accidents. 1,600. Okay, Karen's team, first one up. You're the winners. Second is Eddie's team. Go up and pick a gift. Thank you very much for coming, and keep your little cards with you. Cross them on. Cross them on.
These are all ladies' marches.